These walls can talk. Open your mind and listen.
Trailing down these hollow halls, can you hear me? Staring down these story walls, can you see me?
Well, hello everybody out there in whatever land you're sitting in. Get that camera straightened out of here. You have to let me know if it gets a little bit loud, if you hear the fans going off in the background, because guess what? I guess there's one thing to be said about this particular week is that the weather has gotten kind of nice. We're sort of making up for not having a summer at all during the summer, so now it's going to be hot now. So again, in the background, when you see the curtain floating away, this is nothing paranormal that's occurring. My room is not haunted. The office is just fine. It is, in fact, just the fan. So, figured we have a little podcast. Haven't had one in a month. I got all kinds of stuff inside my head here. Not exactly sure how I'm going to communicate it tonight. I do know that Sandy uploaded a ton of media onto the thing tonight, so I got to figure out, see if I don't screw all that up. But I'd like to talk about some equipment that we've been playing with as of late, as well as some past and previous investigations. I've got some footage from that, and this and that. So if anybody out there wants to type in questions, I'm willing to answer them. Absolutely. It's always good to have an interactive sort of affair. I'm going to see if I can move this camera about, because I can be honest with you, it's driving me nuts. Oh, let's move it down here, because then actually what I'm doing is looking at the camera. Oh, there we go. See? Maybe that'll do. Jeez, that's kind of awkward too. Let's do this. And we'll move it here. Hey, that's not too bad. I guess not. Anyway, so in talking, this will eventually become absolute perfection. But unfortunately, my ugly mug will always not be what you guys want to see. So, you know, in the past couple of weeks, I've had some thoughts about things and the team, and been dealing with production company issues and all that, and the idea of getting a show, and I think a lot of people have been on me about it. You know what, in the past, dealing with production companies has had a certain amount of consternation within the team. It's created a lot of shit, frankly. You know, I mean, I don't really want to get involved with that anymore. There was a point in time when I sort of lost everything to make sure that we looked a certain way, and that our team acted a certain way and followed a certain kind of stream. And you know what? As of late, the more I've been realizing it, the longer I've been doing it, and the older I get, it's a lot of piss on it. I don't care. I don't really care about the whole TV show atmosphere of things anymore. I like the podcast; they're fine, but these are, you know, they're up to me, and I can express my opinions as I feel like them. But I got to be honest with you, I'm really not jacked with the whole TV thing anymore. It's just not my thing. So we're going to. Oh, look at that! I just made my own screen disappear. You'll have to bear with me if I can't see what's on. There it is. Hey, Samara. So, you know what, I'm kind of thinking lately I've got to try to bring the fun back to what we do here. You know, over the last couple of years, you get it where the team gets kind of large and everybody's got to do what they're supposed to do and this and that. And after a while, the fun kind of goes away. And then you're just going through the motions. And I could speak to almost every team that's out there that you're all going to go through this, right? You're going to go through the period of time where there's going to be 6 of you. You're having a blast, right? But you haven't quite got the cred yet. And then there's going to be 12 of you, and you're starting to get busy. And then there's 12 or 13 of you, you're getting really organized, you're doing like 50 or 60 investigations a year. But it's amazing, right? Crying out loud, you're being asked to do seminars, you're going to Paracons, and you're meeting some influential people. People know who you are. It's great. Then after a while, it becomes a job. Except this is a job you don't get paid for. This is a job that you fork out copious amounts of money. And then people on your team get snappy and pissy with you because they want to have a life, right? And and then it's kind of like, well, I don't want them to have a life. I want them to do what they're supposed to do on this team. So I've kind of hit that next stage where next year I'm going to be making a lot of changes to the team where we're going to be maybe focusing on a bit more commercial work and really doing the emergency cases. There are a lot of cases out there, believe it or not, that we do that don't turn out all that well. We travel 6 or 7 hours. We do an investigation. We give them the news that we don't think there's anything particularly wrong with their home. Then we're jerks and all that. So, I think we'll probably stick to some more commercial work next year, but focus on fun, focus on quality instead of quantity. Not worried about getting tons. Mind you, I say that we're not going to get tons of investigations, and kaboom! All of a sudden, we have tons of work coming up. I'm working on a case in Lindsay right now that was given to us by Johnny Buffum up at Ottawa at Bytown Paranormal. Next week we're headed to an investigation in the United States that we've done previously. And just previously, I just did a case in Mississauga of a wonderful family. I don't normally do apartments, but you know what? This one seemed earnest enough for us, and I think we'll be back because something in the evidence tells me that not in the evidence that I got this time around. This time it was very, very minimal. But what she had recorded was pretty compelling. I had also been mentioned in a question that was emailed to me by a fan from the page. Alyssa, I did get your message in regards to why can I only state something is haunted unless we have the hard proof. There are experiences, not what counts. Well, no. First off, I'll never say anything is proof of haunting. I've never come out of a case and said that 100% this is haunted. There's proof. I don't like the word proof. I will say that summarily that you want to have as much evidence as you can, something that's a little hardcore. We are a pragmatic team. There are far too many teams out there that somebody, they get a K2 hit and they feel a breeze go past their face, so there's 15 ghosts in that house. I'd much rather have something a little hardcore to go by. Experiences, right? And the problem is that when you're doing an investigation that's high-strung, as humans, we're fallible, right? Like I'll use an example in a moment. As humans, we're fallible, and we're jacked up at that moment in time. So therefore, we're really, really sensitive. We're sensitive, and that's good to find ourselves in feeling these situations. But you can't use that as proof. You can't, right? Because we're emotional beings, and with emotions, emotions can be played upon. Now, what I'll do is I'll give you an example. This is completely unrelated, right? So my wife and I, Sandy, we're RV shopping. Okay. You know what? We've decided again, like I said, next year I don't want to be like planting myself working 24 hours a day. I have a full-time job and then doing this every single weekend. Sandy and I were investing in an RV, and we've got a trailer park with Bancroft. We're going to go stay on the weekends and blow off some steam. So we've been to probably 25 RV shops, and every single RV shop, we find that RV, we fall in love with it. It's like, oh my God, we got to buy this thing today. We're not planning on buying until January, right? You know what I mean? It's $30,000, $35,000 we don't want to part with. But every single time we get to it, we love it. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is it. And then 2 days later, we're like, yeah, you know what? It wasn't really all that good. Well, it's the same thing that comes in a paranormal investigation. When you're there, you're like, holy shit, did you hear what just happened? Did you feel that? That door got slammed, something fell off that shelf. And all that's up to personal interpretation as to what it was. So no, personal experiences cannot be justified as haunting. Now, they can be, however, an evidence of a personal experience. And there's a number of investigations that I've done. We come out of there and went, you know what, I didn't get any evidence, but you know what, I got to be honest with you, I had a gutty feeling in there. So it is what it is. But it's so much nicer to have an EVP or something on film that makes you go, oh, there you go. It's also very tough. I haven't got my glasses on, Samara. Hold on. Yep, this is true. You know, if spirit is there, and I'm one of the more cynical guys. They're not on call. Sometimes they don't. I guess they don't want to get caught. Sometimes it's just not the right time to get caught. Let's say you're dealing with a responsive or residual haunt. So to me, I would consider a responsive haunt something where a certain noise, a name makes it react, right? So maybe that noise and name hasn't been said. I better put these back on. Okay, and then a residual might be where you've got something that happens at 3:42 every single morning, right? So if you're not there at 3:42, you don't necessarily catch it, but you've got to do something 24 hours a day to find it. Right. So, and Samara, you make a good point. Really, what it is research is in the game, right? This is a fallible thing to do. So, I'm going to look and see what I can pull up here. So, now Sandy put all this stuff in. Hey, how's it going? Sandy put this up, okay? Let's see if I can. So, you can still hear me talking, and I know it's really great. So, what are things going on? Boo Buddy, STS pick, STS video, webcam. So, hold on. So, we're going to leave the web. Oh, there I am. Hi. Okay, so I'm going to get some stuff. And now you can still see me. That's fantastic. I know. I've been looking at myself, and I'm a steady guy. So, where are we headed? So, the last couple weeks, we were in this place here, Bacon's Castle. This is the oldest brick building in the United States. What an awesome, awesome investigation. Let me click a little video on here. This was a drone picture a drone video that I took over the property. There was slaves and all that there. It wasn't a pleasant place for for an employee to be, no doubt, right? So you can see here it's going to draw itself in. Really, I will tell you something. In Virginia, there's me standing there on the lawn. Yeah, it's sped up. Don't worry, I'm not that talented of a pilot. So it was about 7,000 degrees. I've never been so hot in my life. I've also never had so much bad traffic in my life. Oh my good God. It will never, ever, ever be that hot anywhere I ever go again. Look, man, short, fluffy guys, we just don't like it like that. All right, so over here. So this is what we just came with. Now, this weekend we did an investigation in Mississauga. Our client is actually on the screen, okay? So, Samara was wonderful to us. She is a wonderful mother, and we worked with her and her kids. But she had previously taken a video, which we tried to recreate every way, 6 ways from Sunday. Every way. I mean, like we threw water. You'll see. Like we put water on the everything there. Oh, sorry. If I'm like stuttering here, it's because I'm reading the dialogue screen at the same time. You guys are all having a nice little chit chat. So these.
Let's see the bowls move again.
So as you
No?
can see here,
Don't want to move them again? Oh, there you go.
you see that?
'Cause that's enough for
We
me.
tried to recreate. I'll do that again.
Let's see the bowls move again.
The girl that had filmed this is online right now.
No? Don't want to move them again? Oh, there you go.
I'm telling you, we made everything wet, we made it hot, we made everything, we bumped it from underneath. There's no magnet there, and I can tell you that anybody who's on film saying to Samara that her son got under there and moved it with magnets, kid's a little kid. There's no constructiveness to it. All right, I can't explain it. We tried to recreate it. When you watch the video of what we do, we did everything. So you know what? Sometimes maybe it's just a period of time. No, we're gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see. It's compelling though. Sure. If you want to speak up there, Joni, sure. So where we're headed for the next spot, actually, and this is this weekend coming up, we're headed here. It's kind of dark right there. Oh, I can't even really see it. Anyway, this is a place called Ashmore Estates, and Ashmore Estates is an old poor farm. This was freaking incredible. So I'm going to do a drone video we took. Oh, that's not it. I'm going to do a video. So this is it right here. As you can see, this is out in the middle of nothing. So that's the middle of Illinois. This is Farmville, Illinois. And so we're headed here for 2 days. Owner of this place is fantastic. Buildings you see off to the left there, those are actually cabins he built for paranormal investigators to investigate. So it's a neat little place, and we're looking forward to being there. You know, the great thing about it, of course, is that we get to investigate for days. You know what I mean? It's not just a single thing. We're there for days. All right, so it's going to be an amazing investigation. I mean, absolutely freaking amazing. Always is. There's 8 of us driving down. It's about 12 hours away. All right. Well, we'll get into that just in a moment, Johnny. So you're talking about those? Are you speaking about people here? Small male child, strong female, and male child here behind me. So, oh, well, it's going to be interesting at night to listen for those. All right, so I'm just going to bring it back to this for a moment, then I'm going to go back to the actual podcast itself. So I don't know, I think you guys are hearing the audio. I've been dealing with the Boo Buddy and the EDI and the Connect, right? So one of the things that we've been dealing with is the EDI. This is a device that has a geophone, EMF sensor, and all that lot. Now, I find a lot of people tend to use this by walking around with it. This is something that needs to be set down. I got to be honest with you. I gotta be honest with you. It's really not all that much, frankly. I'm not finding this to be the greatest piece of equipment out there. You know, record stuff. It's great, but unless you know what to do with data loggers, it's really not going to be really worth it to you. I don't think. But it is what it is. All right. And then what we've also been dealing with is Boo Bear. So Boo Bear, and I'm going to play a little video of Boo Bear. Okay. And you get the other thing in it too.
Can you finish this? It's cold over here.
All right. So as you saw in the background, DDI was there. Boo Bear's talking away. So here's something to be said. Boo Bear. I'm going to bring this up here. Let's go back to my podcast for a moment. Now the Boo Bear, a lot of people, this Boo Bear is $178 US we paid for. I'm kind of up and down on it. This is something that's a trigger object. And trigger objects are trigger objects. It's a stuffed animal, right? This trigger object will react to vibration and to heat and touch. So it's basically like a K2. Now, unfortunately, what ends up happening is that an investigator is in the room with the Boo, and what you're doing is basically having the reaction to you. It's the vibration of you walking around and the sound of your voice and the heat of you being in there. The Boo Bear is reacting. So it's do what Boo Bear is designed to do, and Boo Bear is designed to say things like, you know, are you there? I get tickled. Are you talking to me? Well, of course, it's hearing your voice, right? So it's asking you. It's not reacting to a spirit at that point in time. So one of the things that Boo Bear needs to be is Boo Bear needs to be an isolation tool, right? So we're going to be doing Ashmore Estates, and there's Robin actually has actual newspaper articles of a little girl that died there in a fire. Her clothes caught on fire. So when we do this, it'll be an isolation thing. There will be no investigators in the room. There'll be a camera. There will be a monitor, like the EDI will be there just to monitor the activity, and then that'll be there along with an audio. So, if it's reacting it, and I will also tell you that it's designed to go off every couple minutes. So it's going to talk anyway, all right? So, real basically, don't get jacked up over this thing, all right? And I'm finding this is going to be like I'm going to say if a lot of other teams that don't seem to use their brains get involved, they're going to be using this and saying, look, it's talking, it's reacting to you. Okay, this is a trigger object that is designed to be used when you're not in the room. That's the only way. It's the only way anything that it reacting, conjunct with a temperature increase, an EMF increase, and an EVP, right? You know what I mean? In its own, this is just not a device that's going to prove anything. Okay. Then the last thing we've been testing lately has been the STS. Now this is the highly debated Kinect. Okay, so that's basically what you get on the screen, right? So I'm going to show a video in a second. All right, now my Kinect is was built to me, by a gentleman of RRLC Paranormal. He might have changed the algorithms a little bit because we could not seem to get a false positive out of this thing. That's a good thing. We put it against mirrored surfaces, all kinds of stuff, and nothing affects this thing. It really only picks up on who's ever standing in front of it, up to 2 people. So that's good. And we're going to make sure, you got to make sure when you're using this that you're not using anything in proximity, anything that gets affected by IR beams, because it fires off fingers of IR. Okay? And good. It is, here, let me put on a video.
Our little civic green light, I don't know if it's green for you, but you can try and hold that, and then lights will go off on it, and we know that you're near us.
Okay, so it's not designed, but what it's designed to do is pick up something in front of it. And we haven't had that luck just yet of it catching anything. It's and who I know somebody said that this is somebody else's YouTube address. Mr. Gilchrist, Ms. Gilchrist, sure, go ahead. What's your Q&A? Ask away. Anyway, so what I'm saying about the STS there is that it's still in motion. We haven't managed to get anything false on it, which is a positive thing, but you have to be incredibly careful about the way that you're collecting data with it and not to overreact to it. All right, so we've got a few conversations going on here. So let's go back to here. So yeah, that's that. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. Got some excellent stuff upcoming, and we've got some good conversation here. So you're used to hearing and seeing orbs and feeling them. Okay, so you're actually seeing orbs with your eyes. So what's the situation? Is it Mr. Gilchrist? Is this Chris? Okay. If you're seeing orbs and feeling orbs, I've never been to that point. I don't really pander much to orbs and photographs. That doesn't do a hell of a lot for me because, unfortunately, there's so many things that will cause an orb in a photograph. All I can say for you is if you feel like messaging me, which I think you might have. Well, I think the thing is that you need to determine what you're actually dealing with. You see, if you are already 100% sure that she said that this is your son's YouTube account. Okay. Like, put it this way, my question for you is that, are you trying to determine if there's spirit there, or you already know? Because if you already know, then I might not be the person to talk to. But you also need to know what kind of spirit you're dealing with, if that's the case. You already know. Okay. Then you need to seek spiritual advice. I tend to try to find and diagnose. Really, when we get involved in there, it's people that think that they've got something going on. And what we do is we try to confirm that with them. But if you already know you've got spirits in your house and you're concerned about it, there's a couple things you need to look at. One, you know, if there's medications involved. Two, is there a personal emotional attachment involved? What would be the cause of this? Have you got something that's negative or positive? Have you been keeping a diary about what's been happening? Get your son involved, right? So I don't know a great deal of detail about what's going on with your particular case, right? Hey, it's no problem, Ron. We're pretty much done anyway. So, well, Ms. Gilchrist, you know, if you want to message me, Dave at chapsparanormal.ca, that'd be very good. I'm all over it, and I will endeavor to assist you as much as I can. Unfortunately, like I said before, though, I mean, if you already have the assertion that you know that there's a haunting, and then what I'm going to be able to do isn't going to be all that helpful for you. So, all I got to say is it's going to be an excellent time. I hope you enjoyed the little videos we had there and what we're doing. And we're going to be off to Ashmore this week, and then got some investigations in Lindsay coming up a few weeks later. Then we got some cottage time. Sandy and I are headed down to New Orleans first week in October, and that's going to be amazing. We have a neighbor daughter that has brought in the board. Okay, folks. Have a good one.